Kelly, and this past August I section hiked the Wonderland Trail. If you're not familiar with what the Wonderland Trail is, it's a 93-mile long trail that goes around Mount Rainier, which is one of Washington's iconic mountains. So today's video is split into two parts. The first part I'll show you my backpacking trip and the whole experience, and then the second part will be a guide to explain how I section hiked this trail and the planning process and everything that went into that. Here's a quick overview of the hike. So we're starting at the Longmire Wilderness Center, and then we'll end at a trailhead that's off of the Wonderland Trail. So day one, we'll hike from the Longmire Wilderness Center to the South Puyallup River Camp, and we'll stay there for the night. And then the second day, we'll hike from the South Puyallup River Camp to the trailhead, which is where we have one of our cars. So here's our plan for the weekend. Friday after work, we're going to pack our bags and prepare our food. Saturday, we're gonna drive from Seattle to Mount Rainier National Park. We'll meet up with our other friends who drove separately in another car, pick up our permits from the Longmire Wilderness Center, drive the other car to the ending location, which is that one trailhead off of the Wonderland Trail, drive back to the Longmire Wilderness Center, meet up with the rest of the group, then start the hike to the South Puyallup River Camp. Then we'll spend the night there, and then on Sunday, we will hike from the campground back to the car and then drive home. I went on this backpacking trip with a group of 8 people. So it was me, my husband Anthony, our friends Nico and Matt, our new friends Angela and Brendan, and then our friends Dustin and Talina, who flew up from Southern California up to Seattle for this backpacking trip. It's happening. Starting off 9 a.m. Yay! Can't see it, but Mount Rainier's over there. Look at right there. Mount Rainier National Park posts current conditions of different trails within the park. Approximately 3 miles into the trail that we were going on, there was an update that there was an up to knee-deep crossing at Cotts Creek, and that was my first time dealing with a river crossing ever, but I feel like I was pretty prepared. So first, our friend Matt went across the river, and that kind of gave us an idea of the depth of the crossing and also the speed of the creek. So to prepare, I removed my hiking boots and my socks. I put on my chacos and put my camera in my backpack. Then a few of us crossed in that same spot that Matt went across, and then a few others went around to a different part of the creek, which is where I ended up crossing. After the river crossing, we kind of took a break, snacked a little bit, filled up our water, and then from there I didn't really record that much because it was just a lot of uphill and a lot of being very tired. But once we got past the uphill portion, we finally started seeing some of the meadows. But this is also when the bugs started to get pretty bad. Low-key jealous.
I hear it.
I know, they're so loud.
Because we're right next to standing water. Yeah. Once we get out of here.
Wow. This is what I dreamed of when we would hike this trail. This is crazy. Oh. Look at those flowers. I'm dying. Then we reached the section which I was looking forward to most on this trail, which was all the wildflowers at Indian Henry's. The meadow with all of these wildflowers and Rainier right there. Oh my God, I can't! Look at that!
Wow.
Yeah. Suspension bridge. One person at a time. I'll be crossing this suspension bridge. We'll see how it goes. I've never been on a suspension bridge before. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait. This is actually kind of scary. Okay, bye. The suspension bridge was really fun, but right after this, the trail got really tough. We had just completed 2 uphills and 2 downhills, and now we were on our last uphill and then downhill portion of the trail. So we were already pretty exhausted, and a lot of us were running really low on water. And we just kind of wanted to get to the campground already. So this last portion was really challenging, but this was also one of my favorite portions of the trail. What the heck? Our first water source in who knows how long. So thankful. We are approaching camp. We see people. This is the best feeling ever. We made it. Yay! We made it! Yay! We did it! Time to set up camp. Woohoo! We're done.
Oh, dude.
Please. I need sugar. Thank you. 1:48 p.m. and we're back at the car. We successfully were able to park at our ending spot, and then our friends shuttled us back here to our car. So now we gotta go back and pick up our other friends, but we're so happy with how this hike went, and thankfully we were able to do this alternate route, which was a lot shorter and a lot easier on us after like such a rough day yesterday. So it was a really good trip. Now we are on to the second portion of this video, which is Kelly's guide to doing this exact same backpacking trip. I'll go over how I did research for this trail and found what section of the Wonderland Trail that I wanted to do, what I had to fill out for the permit, how I planned for this trip, the food, what I packed, and then also lessons learned and what I would improve for the next trip. So first of all, I wanted to do the Wonderland Trail because it is a well-known trail in Washington and it goes around Mount Rainier, which a lot of you know that I love Mount Rainier. I also watched the Hungry Hiker series on the Wonderland Trail. She documents her whole hike and gives you tips and kind of explains how she prepared for the trail. So that's how I first started learning about it. Now that I knew I wanted to do a section, I had to figure out what section that I wanted to do. Something that was doable in a weekend trip that would require either no time off or maybe like 1, maybe 2 days time off. Something in particular that I wanted to see were wildflowers at Mount Rainier National Park. I kind of just started searching Google and like Pinterest and stuff for pictures, and when I was searching for that, Indian Henry's came up. And so that's how I decided on a starting location and then on the South Puyallup River camp as our destination basically. So now onto the permits. How the permits work for the Wonderland Trail is you reserve online on recreation.gov. So on the website, they'll have a list of all the different campgrounds along the Wonderland Trail, and then you reserve specific campgrounds for specific days. So since I wanted to hike with a bigger group, I looked for the group sites along the trail. Not every campground along the trail has a group site, and so those ones can hold up to, I have to double check, but I'll put it on the screen here. The group sites can hold up to blank amount of people. When checking out, I had to fill out my name, phone number, email address, travel type, and then an alternate permit holder's name. So that was Anthony and that person's email address. So you pick your entry date, entry location, in this case it was Longmire Trailhead, exit date, and then exit location, Longmire Trailhead, and emergency contact and their phone number. Then you fill out the group size, and then vehicle information. So you have to know your car's make, license plate, and then state for the license plate. And then you need a credit card, and the total cost for the permit was $26. To pick up your permit, we picked ours up from the Longmire Wilderness Center the morning of our trip. Okay, so that's it for the permit. Now on to planning, how I planned for this trip. So whenever I plan any sort of trip, whether that's camping, going to another city, or a backpacking trip, I usually use Google Sheets. So first off, I will start with collecting some useful information. So the length of the hike for each day, the elevation gain for each day, and also the estimated moving time from this online calculator. And those will determine approximately how long the hike may take. I'll also write down any special restrictions, trail conditions, or weather, and that'll help inform what we need to pack. And then the driving distance, the estimated moving time, and then the sunrise and sunset times, and that will help inform the timeline for the day. So then once I collect all that info, I create an estimated timeline so we know when we need to leave, when we need to start. I'll also have a section for all of the group information. So I have the names of everybody in the group and their emergency contacts plus emergency contact information. I also have the car information, which has the passengers, and then I'll also have a map of the trail that we are planning to do. So this is really useful for planning. It's also helpful because you can share this with all the members of your group so everyone knows what to expect. And then also this is important because you can share this with your emergency contacts so they know what your plan is. Now on to food. So along the Wonderland Trail, wood fires are not allowed. You can only use camp stoves. You can store your food in bear canisters or a bear bag. At the South Puyallup River camp in particular, they had a bear pole in the campground where you could hang your bear bag and hang your food and scented items. So this is what Anthony and I brought for food for the weekend. Saturday breakfast, which was more for the drive to Mount Rainier National Park, we brought coffee that we prepared the night before and spam musubi that we prepared with our friends the night before. Saturday lunch, which we ate on the hike, were sandwiches that we also prepared the night before with our friends. Snacks throughout the hike, we had honey roasted almonds, a Cliff Bar, sunflower butter, and dried cranberries. Dinner, I had a chili mac freeze-dried meal, which I picked up from REI, and then also hot sauce to go with that. For breakfast, Anthony and I shared a breakfast skillet, which was another freeze-dried meal that we picked up from REI. And then for drinks, we had water, of course, instant coffee packets, and then also Liquid IV packets. The Liquid IV was helpful just because it has electrolytes, so it can help keep you hydrated. If you are interested in purchasing Liquid IV, I have an affiliate link in the description box, so definitely check it out. So now I'll go over what I packed for this trip. Saturday dinner, Sunday breakfast, snacks, coffee, water bottle, which we usually use a Smart water bottle, one water filter to share between Anthony and me, one bear canister, hot sauce, and then also electrolytes, which were our liquid IV packets. Then for cookware, we brought a Jetboil gas, and then I just have a fork that I got from Goodwill, a lighter, and then a cup or mug. For toiletries, we have a trowel or poop shovel, some toilet paper that we put in a Ziploc, our toothbrushes, toothpaste, contacts, contact solution, a towel, which was actually really useful for the river crossing, a trash bag, which was just a big Ziploc bag where we could consolidate all of our trash and then put that in the bear canister, and then paper towels. For clothing, I had my biker shorts, I had a thermal top that I wore at night, I had a tank top and a sun hoodie, also had a sun hat and then a down jacket as well, extra socks and underwear, my hiking boots, sandals, sunglasses, and glasses. And then for housing, Anthony and I usually will split this between our backpacks. So he carried the tent and stakes, I carried both of our sleeping bags, I carried the sleeping pad, our pillows, and then Anthony brought the hammock. For utility, we each have a headlamp, we brought one first aid kit, 2 walkie-talkies, both brought a power bank, bug spray, which we packed but left in the car, and then hiking poles. For leisure, we brought playing cards, I brought my camera and my tripod. If there's anything else that I forgot, I'll just put it on the screen up here. Now on to the last section, lessons learned and how I would improve for my next trip. So the first is look into the water sources and plan accordingly. So we refilled at Cox Creek, and then there were a few along the trail which we also refilled at. But if we had planned better, we wouldn't have had to go up that one last uphill section and downhill section without any water basically until we got to the campsite. So definitely look into the water sources. Another lesson learned was to store the liquid IV in an accessible place. We stored it in the bear canister, which was kind of deep in Anthony's backpack. Whenever we were really tired and wanted liquid IV, it would be a pain to like take everything out, open the bear canister and get the liquid IV. Also along those lines, just to bring more liquid IV, because it is really nice to have and to put in your water just so you can stay extra hydrated. The next lesson learned and what I would improve for next trip was to not wear my camera strap around my neck when my collarbones are exposed. So most of the time when I hiked, I had my sun hoodie on and I would wear my camera strap across my body. But on the second day when it was a lot warmer and we were in the sun, I removed my sun hoodie and just wore my tank top, and then I had the camera strap across the same way. But the camera strap started rubbing against my skin and left like a blister or like an abrasion. I think eventually in the future I do want a Peak Design camera clip, which a lot of like hiking creators or just hikers I guess have. And then the last one, which is not really something that I would improve, but just something that I learned from this trip, was I learned my limits from this trip. And for this one, the distance and gain seemed doable, but I also have never gone up and down 3 peaks in a day. So, I mean, now I know at least I can do it, but that is definitely very challenging. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed the recap of my backpacking trip around Mount Rainier National Park along the Wonderland Trail, and also my guide to doing that exact same backpacking trip. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment if you have anything to say or if you have any questions. If you like this video, you can also check out some of the other videos that I have on my YouTube channel. I post a lot about just adventures that we go on here in Washington and in the Seattle area, and consider subscribing if you like my content and want to see more. Thank you again for watching this video, and thanks for sticking with me until the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.